This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here with your latest Meteo Mundo forecast, the weekend forecast for us here on this Friday, and I hope you're having a great Friday, a great start to your weekend. And coming up in this video, we've got yet another powerful cold front to talk about, some plunging temperatures in a few spots, some strong winds, and some rough surf and sea conditions as well. So let's get started. We'll get right into it. Thank you so much for liking the video. On this Friday early afternoon, you're taking a look at the visible satellite imagery across the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Again, still strong easterly winds for a vast majority of our area. All of the Lesser Antilles, the British and U.S. Virgin Islands of Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Kingston, Jamaica area, the ABC Islands. Just a fresh, strong easterly wind that has pulled in some moisture and showers and really kicked up the surf and sea conditions as well. Cloudy skies right now are situated over the Bahamas, and that's going to be a story. We have another front coming in. Now ahead of it, we have south winds for today and temperatures that are actually warming up a little bit at this point in time. Let me throw on those numbers for you here on this early Friday afternoon. And you can see that Nassau is up to 81 degrees. Freeport is in at 77, but there is some colder air coming in shortly. So it's kind of what's ahead of what's going to be the next front coming in, but the winds have turned out of the south. If I put the composite radar on here and then take off some of the other layers, and I'll go ahead and take off the temperatures as well, you can see the rain continuing to develop. It's really not hit the northwest Bahamas as of yet, but as that front plunges into the area, it's going to take some of these showers and storms and pull them back to the south. Now, the most majority of all the strong storms are well up in the continental United States, but there is some colder air that will be plunging in behind that as well. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at that and we'll look how it's going to impact the areas that I expect here. So let me switch over to, we'll look at the rain real quick, but then I'm going to actually turn this over to the temperatures here and we'll take a look at that. Let me get the radar off of there. All right, so look at our model here over the next 5 days. I'm going to throw this into motion and you're going to see true Arctic air plunging in from Canada through the central United States and deep into the southeast and eventually working its way into portions of the Bahamas. Now, it's not going to get to a lot of our area, but there is some colder air coming in. But this is some outrageously cold weather here. If I stop it right about here, which is the heart of the Arctic plunge, and I can actually query this. Let me get this back a little bit further in. Let's see, right about there. Look at these air temperatures deep into the southeast United States. Look how cold that's going to be. Okay. And then in the Bahamas, you know, we'll get a little bit cooler air. You can see that here as we get into early next week. Nassau 74, Lucaya around 75 degrees. That's decent air for early January. And then the rest of the Caribbean, we're going to be mainly staying in the upper 70s. Now, there's been a lot of spots that have been right around 80 degrees. Barbados is one of those areas. We're going to stay right around 80 there as well. But again, one reason why is we're still going to have strong east winds and the opportunity for some more rain over the next several days. The ABC Islands have been one of the warmer spots, and Bonaire and Curacao and Aruba should be staying around 80 degrees in a lot of areas. And again, it doesn't really matter, you know, this is 1 a.m. If I back this up to say 1:45, again, it's a little bit warmer in some spots. You can see how high it's going to get in the Kingston area and to the western sides of Jamaica as well. There's going to be some spots pushing 90 degrees for the next several afternoons. So again, kind of one of those things where, you know, you don't get very cool air overnight and then it gets pretty hot into the afternoon hours for us here as well. So as a look at the temperatures, but I really just wanted to show you this huge Arctic plunge coming in out of the United States. Let's talk about our winds next. I'll switch on over to our wind vector product here and we'll take a look at that. Now, again, our winds are going to be mainly out of the east in a lot of the area, and it's been a fresh breeze. It's kicked up the surfing and sea conditions as well. So you can see right now for places like Anguilla and Antigua and Barbuda, we have strong easterly winds that will continue. That's where we have some of the high surf advisories, including Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis, and the British Virgin Islands. High surf advisories. We're seeing seas running easily over 6 feet. We're even seeing some surf conditions 1.5 to 2 meters. That's over 6 feet from time to time as well. So it's going to throw a lot of surf and sea, especially on the east and northeast side of the islands. And it's just also going to churn the waters up a bit as well. So just keep that in mind here. Let me space these out just a little bit more for us here. But again, it's a strong east wind, and that will continue in places like St. Croix and St. Thomas and St. John, Puerto Rico as well, right on through Hispaniola. Again, it's a good chunk of our area. And it's not just light winds. I mean, these pinks that you see here are pushing 20 and 25 knots on our scale. These are strong, fresh easterlies that will continue for Barbados and St. Lucia and Martinique and Dominica and Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada and even towards the ABC Islands. And again, it'll favor the rain on the eastern side of the islands with that strong east wind. Now, the winds will turn a little bit more south and east when you get towards the northwest Caribbean into places like Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, and that even brings hotter air coming in. And then you see what's going to be happening in Cancun, and they're going to get a big dip of strong north winds. And when that moves into the area, watch out. It's going to get a little bit cooler there, but it's going to really kick up the sea conditions in those areas, just kind of churn things up for the Yucatan in general. All right, let's take a look at the rainforest here. Let me switch on over to our rainfall graphic. And then we'll put this into motion over the next 5 days. Give me just 1 second while I readjust the model. And as I do so, I appreciate you guys liking the video. Again, I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. I thank you for joining us here at Meteo Mundo. So over the next 5 days, we've got another strong cold front coming into the Bahamas. That's going to spell some rain. The easterlies are going to continue to provide at least a few showers for all of the Lesser Antilles, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico in general as well. Mainly drier the farther west that you go in the Caribbean, including our friends in Kingston and Montego Bay and Portmore and Spanish Town and areas of all of Jamaica. We'll start off right now in the Bahamas, okay, because this is an area that's going to see a few rounds of potentially significant rain. The first coming in late tonight and then on Saturday, and then another round early next week. And it looks like a better chance for some rain coming in for early next week. But we can't spell out or can't rule out with this front, even though when I zoom this out a little bit more, you'll see the majority of the rain stays north of the area, especially from New Providence northward, but certainly Grand Bahama, Walker's Key, and the Abaco areas getting at least some passing showers with this first front. And you can see that will then kind of dry out a little bit as we get into early weekend early in the weekend into early next week. But then as we head towards Tuesday, Wednesday time frame, we're going to start to see more rain developing. And you can see here early morning on the 17th, the model brings in yet our next front with a good opportunity for some heavier rain. So rounds of showers, brought to you by periods of very quiet weather. We'll take it. But again, this time of the year, these fronts can impact places like Arthurstown and Nassau and Marsh Harbor and Lucaya and Weston and Walker's Key with some significant rain and obviously a change in winds and a change in temperatures as well. So relatively wet forecast for that area. You can see maybe you have some travel plans to Cancun. Put this back into motion. You can see the rain that'll be sitting over the Yucatan here as we get into tomorrow and the rest of the weekend, and then early next week, the next front dropping in again with a good chance for some showers. Those are the areas that I expect to see the most significant rain. Now, where we're still going to see just a decent opportunity of rain almost every day is going to be in the Lesser Antilles. And we'll just zoom in and kind of take it in. Now, again, it's going to be very area dependent, but I can't say it's going to be completely dry. The model certainly does paint on a decent chance for some showers in places like Trinidad and Tobago, especially over the next couple of days. Over the weekend in general, maybe slightly drier early next week, but again, we're not completely dry in these areas. Grenada and Barbados and St. Vincent and St. Lucia, again, the model favors it a little bit farther to the south, but there'll still be some scattered showers with our easterly breeze that continues for Martinique up towards Dominica and Guadeloupe. Same thing for Montserrat, St. Kitts and Nevis as well, St. Bartholomew as well. And again, the bottom line is the east winds, the rough surf and sea conditions here in portions of the Leeward Islands, especially for Antigua, Barbuda, and Gila. And then as you head into places like Roadtown, the British Virgin Islands again. Now, the rain may not be as prominent in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, but again, opportunity for some showers in those areas. And then it will be slightly drier as we get farther off towards the northwest. And just to kind of show you for my friends in Jamaica, you've had a relatively quiet spell of weather. You've had a few showers from time to time, and that will continue. But again, as I've mentioned, daytime highs with a southeast breeze could be running near 90 degrees over the next several days. Okay, let's take a look at the total precipitation in the area for us here, and we'll just kind of look at one time frame. Let me switch on over to, we'll do this right here. And again, what you're going to see is a lot of blue on our map, which indicates low totals, but not completely dry. Some of the areas that got a little bit more rain, as I mentioned, down towards the southern Windward Islands, Trinidad and Tobago, are some of the areas that the model's just painting on a little bit more rain overall. Again, it's not a crazy amount, but for this time of the year, it's a decent amount of rain when you're talking about 1/2 inch to, or excuse me, 1.5 inches to 2.5 inches in places in Trinidad and Tobago, and maybe locally higher from time to time as well. Again, you know, I wouldn't be shocked if we get a couple of inches of rain in a few spots. Generally speaking, the farther north that you go, you know, we're going to stay in that 1/2 inch to inch rain with, again, the model favoring the eastern sides of the islands with a strong easterly breeze. But if we pick up another inch of rain in places like Guadeloupe, it's not out of the question. Same thing for Antigua and Barbuda, generally averaging about 1/2 inch of rain over the next 5 days. But there's a shower chance in the forecast each and every afternoon. And then for Puerto Rico, again, we'll pick up a little bit more rain on the eastern side of the island. There's been some earthquake activity in Puerto Rico as well. If you have actually experienced that, drop it in the comment section below. Let me know. Also, let me know how you guys are handling the heat. If things are okay, if this rain is refreshing and cooling you off, or if it's still pretty hot. I know one area that could use a little bit more rain are my friends in Kingston and Mandeville and Maypen and Negril and Montego Bay. And guys, it's just not a lot of rain over the next 5 days. You're just one of those areas that's not going to see a lot. You can see that rain trying to sneak into the Yucatan. It's not going to be heavy rain, but there will be a few days for the opportunity for some showers there. And then again, it's going to be the far, far northern side of the Bahamas towards Walker's Key with the highest chance for more significant rain, but 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain certainly possible over Grand Bahama and Abaco and the Bimini area, with lower amounts as you get towards Nassau, the central Bahamas, the southeast Bahamas, and the Turks and Caicos. There will be some very significant rain through portions of the western Atlantic just offshore of the United States East Coast, but luckily for the Bahamas, all that heavier rain, and I'm talking about maybe 1/2 foot of rain or more, stays up to the north and to the east. Okay, let's take a look at some of the chances of rain in your area. So for the remainder of today in Freeport, about a 20% chance, better chance with the front coming through on Saturday at a 40% chance. Barbados just has a decent chance for showers here, 40% chance the rest of today, 50% chance for tomorrow. Dominican Republic, my friends in Santo Domingo, Punta Cana, about a 20% chance for showers. Puerto Rico, slightly higher, passing showers, breezy conditions. Jamaica, at best, it's a 20% chance the next couple of days, but many dry hours and locations in your area. And Trinidad and Tobago, again, with a decent chance for some showers, and some of those could be locally heavy downpours. It's one of the areas that I think has the opportunity for that to happen. Hey, you can follow us anywhere, friends. Meteo Mundo's across the social media platforms. We'd love to see you join us on Instagram, TikTok. We're on X, Facebook, and you can always email us. If you want to send us a picture or a video from your area, that's the best way to do it. Just shoot us a email, mymeteomundo@gmail.com. All right, coming back on camera for you here, we'll take one more look at this wide satellite imagery, throw it back into the visible satellite. And again, what we'll be watching for the next couple of days is our front coming in to the Bahamas, bringing some significant potential for some rain to the northwest Bahamas. Some cooler weather as well. The strong east breeze, I mentioned the high surf advisories for especially the northern side of the Leeward Islands. And then we just kind of get a little bit drier as we get towards the western side of the Caribbean. Friends, have a great weekend ahead. I've got you covered right here. Thank you so much for liking the video. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber, supporting us here at Meteo Mundo, and I'll see you soon.